Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Deals podcast. I'm your host, Gabrielle Simmons. Today I am here with Caleb Christopher with Creative Title and Creative TC. Thank you for being here with me.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure to be in town and spend time together.
Yes, thank you. Before we continue, and I have so many exciting questions to ask you because you are just such a wealth of knowledge. Real quick, want to highlight our sponsor, Builders Outlet. Builders Outlet is your go-to for windows, cabinets, doors, and trim. Check out Builders Outlet here in Denver, Colorado, downtown. Well, kind of downtown-ish. Or you can go to their website at buildersoutletco.com. All right, Caleb. So first of all, you're in Colorado. You don't even live here.
No, Kansas City's home for me.
Yes. Thank you for coming out all this way. What have you been doing since you've been in Colorado?
Ooh, this is a long trip. This is 10 days running so far. It'll be 10 plus days. I went to Squat Up Summit with the Pace Morby group, and then I went on a ski trip for a mastermind ski trip for 3 days, and here we are.
Nice. Tell me more about that ski trip and the mastermind. It seemed really like a unique experience.
Yeah, it was a bunch of real estate investors, buyers, sellers, note buyers and sellers, and everything from wholesalers to advanced like company owners. And so it was an opportunity for me to get with clients, obviously. Skiing is fantastic. It's been a long time since I've done that.
You didn't get hurt?
No. I did get a little sunburn.
Just a little.
They told me to bring sunscreen, and I was like, yeah, right. But had a fantastic time. No broken bones. Got to ride with people. Good times.
Good. Love it. Tell us more about Creative Title and Creative TC. I mean, that's how we got introduced, right? We have a mutual friend who introduced us, and it's like, hey, you guys can definitely work together. And I had seen you previously on Facebook. Sharing some of your insights about contracts and people in the subject to space that are doing those transactions. Tell us more about your company.
So Creative Title was born out of Creative TC, right? So the TC is transaction consulting, and we just touch everything creative. I did my first couple of creative deals, and
when you say creative, what do you mean?
Sure. Sub-2, seller finance, any of these transactions where no new bank financing is coming in. Okay. We're figuring out a way to get this. Somebody needs to sell a house. Usually there's pain. Sometimes it's just preference for a price that you can't afford otherwise.
Right.
As an investor, I can make any deal work if you stretch my payments out long enough. As long as I can cash flow, we've got a deal.
Right.
So creative finance is about those sorts of things. That's a lot of custom arrangements. We're doing non-standard things, and people really don't know what they're doing. It's uncharted territory for most people.
Tell us what that is even more. Like some of our viewers don't know what subject to transactions are, or seller financing even.
So when we say seller finance, we typically think of they own the house free and clear, no debt, no mortgages. It's all theirs, and they're just going to take a down payment, and they're the bank. Right. They become the bank.
Right.
That works fine. That's pretty normal to people. Sub-2 is a different flavor of that. I've already got a bank loan, and you're going to buy my house, but you're just going to take over my payments.
Right. And the mortgage is going to stay
in my name.
Right.
So if you don't make my payments, my credit takes a hit.
Right.
That's a serious problem, and people are pretty cavalier about it. And so I started Creative TC, the first company to make real estate safe, legal, and ethical. Specifically creative finance real estate, because whether you intend to or not, it's pretty easy to do somebody dirty with creative finance. It solves a lot of problems, but there's a lot of room for people to just do each other dirty. And I thought, there's nobody guiding these things. I expected title companies to, right? That was my first experience. I worked with a wholesaler. I got some deals under contract for them. I made promises, and I got the deals under contract. And then I saw the other people not keeping my promises that I made to the seller. And I'm like,
that's a big one.
This can't stand.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. So.
And that's interesting. I like that you mentioned that, because in several of my wholesale transactions that I started doing subject to deals, I always made it to where I wasn't going under contract with the seller and assigning that contract to my investor buyer like a traditional wholesale transaction, because of that worry of like, I don't want to be going into agreement with these sellers, these mortgage holders, that I'm then assigning this to an investor who, if they don't hold up their end of the deal, it's really going to be back on me, and even just my word. This is something that I told them that I was going to be doing, that we were going to be doing.
Right.
And for them to not do it, hurts everybody involved. So I've always structured it to where my investor buyer is the one going under contract, and then they're paying me separately as the wholesaler for putting that deal together.
Yeah, wholesalers get paid to find deals. There's that big gray area, like the ethical dilemma of, do I put somebody else on the contract? You're the one that found it and got it initiated. But if you connect them and build the relationship, now it's them. They've made that agreement, and that's fine. It's when the wholesalers won't let the buyer and seller talk to each other until closing, that's across the line for me. You can't be doing that. No good.
Yeah, it sounds like you're making your own problems for yourself at that point.
The most ethical way to do these sub-2 deals for wholesalers is, if you've got enough money to actually close on it, or private money or something, you close on it and you stand in the middle and you promise to pay. You're the one that made the promises. So even if your end buyer doesn't pay, you can still stand in the gap and honor your word.
And you work with, I know we have a mutual friend as well that you work with, and that's what his business model is, essentially, is being that middle party, taking these contracts, holding them, and then finding somebody who's going to live in it and buy it.
They can rent it or they can buy it. There's so many. We're not even covering all the creative strategies. There's so many. So, in order to work any one given transaction that you might bring to my company, I have to have this much knowledge to use this much of it at a time. And I built a team of really incredibly smart people. And it's the same thing. We have to train them so much so they can do a little bit here, a little bit there for every different transaction.
Right. And so your background is in cybersecurity and risk management, right? What does that mean? How is that something that you have experience in?
I think of how to break things.
You think of how to break things.
I like to know what something does, but I like to know how it does it. And when you have that engineering mindset, especially when you're thinking computer systems, you're like, well, how could this break? How can I keep somebody else from breaking it? That's it. You try to break something in a safe environment so that somebody else can't break it in production. And so I think of a lot of things that way, particularly contracts. Super nerdy. I like paperwork. If you don't know what the Oxford comma is, it's look it up. We don't have time. I like the Oxford comma, right? So I correct attorney documents all the time. They're not written well. And there's 2 levels of this, and this is what I train my team. You can write something so that it's understood. That's level 1. Most people can do that. GPT can do that. The next level is to write it so that it cannot be misunderstood. And that is a world of difference.
Wow, yeah.
And it's just, there's so much more thought that goes into that. So that's, can I break this contract? Can I do something, evade, misinterpret it to my advantage? Can they do the same? And how can I, as a service provider, make sure that these deals are safe, legal, and ethical? Right. You're going to hear that. That's going through my head all the time.
Legal and ethical.
Who can break it? How can they break it? How can I keep it from being broken? So that's that risk management and cybersecurity influence.
Yeah. And with that comes, I know that you're always up to date, right? With things that are changing in law. And
I don't think so. I try to be.
I feel like you are, and you educate me, you share things that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And you're like, yeah, we're implementing this and we're changing this. And that just goes to show how focused you are on that risk management for contracts and your clients.
We've got version numbers on the bottom of all of our documents in the footer. So you'll see if it's the latest version or not, but they're dated. I've got title companies and closing attorneys on the East Coast, multiple of them who've just started using my documents for their closings.
Nice.
So
yeah.
I just do good docs.
And with that, one of your phrases, your sayings are what? Oh, I don't want to misquote it.
I don't know which one.
People, contracts don't.
A contract is only so good, right? A contract is like a lock on a door, keeps honest people honest. It sets forth your intention. In fact, I had a wholesaler, because we'll be moving to the title talk in a second here. I had a wholesaler come back to me using my paperwork because I give away the templates. He got cut out on his fee. And I'm like, you use my paperwork? And he said, yeah. I said, there's absolutely no way that can happen. They are dead to rights. Tell me the story again. I listened to the story. I'm like, there's no way. I would be astounded if they can stand up in court. We're on the verge of me going halvesies to sue this title company.
Wow.
On behalf of, he didn't even pay me for the contract. But I'm like, if there's something broken with my paperwork, I want to know about it.
Right.
But you set your intentions in a contract. Sometimes you can set your intention by declaring something that's not enforceable, but it tells part of the story.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anytime I'm doing something non-standard, my favorite is to start with a preamble, like, hey, John and Sally are intending to do this by executing it in this way, and here's the terms down below. That preamble helps you interpret the terms below. So even if something's not enforceable, if you have to go to court on it, it's like, well, this is the understanding we established. We mutually understood this to be the case. Our purpose was this.
Right.
These are the terms. So let's interpret this the right way.
Yeah. And that in itself, I can see why you are the person that people go to and come fix their problems, specifically in the creative finance space. If I'm dealing with the subject to transaction, these are complicated. And these are transactions that a lot of times contracts aren't written correctly.
Yeah.
And like you said, even if they are written correctly, how are they interpreted?
Yeah.
And what is the story that's being told? Also, like, how are you cleaning it up once it's already become a mess? And having someone like you in our corner, in our back pocket, like, takes so much weight off of our shoulders. Because as real estate professionals, as real estate wholesalers or investors, like, we aren't contract professionals. We aren't title professionals. And having you be that for us, I'm sure you saved so many people from so many problems.
My favorite thing is that I don't have a license for anything except to drive a car. I like being a consultant. It's just let me say whatever I want. You know, I've got strong opinions. I have strong ethical opinions that are generally correct. Most people would agree, right? You gotta always leave room for error. But where was I going with that? Shoot. Oh,
That you're not licensed.
I don't like having a license because that allows me to say what I want, and you can't threaten to take my license away.
Yeah.
I can be a business owner and coordinator of all these different things. So I have a team of consultants. I'm a consultant. And then because we care so much, we're dealing with all sorts of issues like title companies who don't care, don't read, don't understand the wholesaler, the investor, everybody and their mom. They just want to get it closed, right? You brought the file to me, close of escrow, thank you, goodbye. My name's Bennett, I ain't in it from that point forward.
Right.
I don't like that. I know they're supposed to be an independent third party, but they can also do a good job. And I think a lot of them don't. So
And they could also pose questions, right? Like, it's not harming anybody for them if they identify something and they just pose a question like, hey, seller, so what do you think is exactly happening here? You know, or hey, buyer, hey, wholesaler, like, this contract doesn't exactly clarify how you're getting paid. Is that something that this contract needs to do? Right? You know, like, just posing those questions. Yes, you can still act like a third party and still understand what's supposed to be happening and make sure that everybody else understands that too.
yeah. So being tired of correcting them all the time, I'm like, better me than you, right? I'm going to start a title company. So I spent a year and a half evaluating title companies for purchase, actually. Underwrote 6, made offers on 3, traveled to visit 1 for 2 days, built relationships, and it still just didn't work out. Just most of them were proud of their COVID numbers, where they had all sorts of refi and all this extra revenue coming in. And I'm like, that's not the next 3 years. I'm not paying for that.
Right.
So that didn't work out. And then the other one's a long story. But after lots of trying, months and months, well, a year and a half, I'm like, I just need to go ahead and do it myself. So started an LLC. It took 6 months to get licensed. Everything's fresh and new. Nobody starts new title companies. They come from an existing title company and leverage their knowledge. So I'm breaking into that. So, but what I do normally with the consulting has a lot of overlap with titles. So this is adding a lane for me.
Right.
And now I get to deliver on a lot of promises that I couldn't make before. Right.
Right. Because then you were still doing the transaction consulting. You were still having to pass it off to another title company and trusting that they were going to do what you would do.
I literally backseat driver.
Right.
It was the worst. It's very difficult. And so actually for my consulting team, soft skills are 60% of the work. It's learning how to communicate. Things like bluff, bottom line up front, ending an email with a witness. What is the next step? So if you start every email with a bluff, so write your email, put your punchline and drag it to the top. That's what you start with. Then when you don't open your email, you just see the summary, the first line is like, oh, I get what that email's about.
Yeah.
And you don't have to read 2 paragraphs of text, and people won't get tired of reading your emails, and you'll be an effective communicator.
Yeah.
And if you actually go to the bottom of the email and end with, you'll hear from me in 2 days, or I'm going to do this, or I need you to do X. If you give that clarity, Here's what matters, and here's what's next.
Yeah.
Every time.
And you're an amazing communicator with that. I mean, you're one of my favorite people to communicate with and to do business with. And you joined Real Estate Dealmakers and became one of our verified affiliates. And like even that process, we're going over my contract, right? And you're bringing things to my attention. But the way that
Oh yeah, the membership.
yeah, the way that you communicate and just make it so clear and simple, and you understand like being efficient with time, and that's super important in this industry for everyone, no matter what space they're in the transaction. But and as a consultant and as a title company, communication is what 90%. Like that's majority of what you're doing is just simply communicating.
I've got another story. Sorry, I'm all stories. I used to work in IT. I was a team lead over IT service people. You send in a support ticket. The normal customer experience is you send in a ticket and you wait and you wait and you wait, and you get an automatic response, right? That's right away. But beyond that, what do you get? Who knows?
Right.
And then maybe you get a call. Maybe it's fixed. Maybe they didn't tell you. I'm like, this is a terrible customer experience, you guys. Listen, you get 0 credit for working on something that they don't know you're working on. It's not about tooting your own horn. It's about acknowledging and communicating. And so you're a remote employee. My teams are remote. When you get a response, I said, call the person and say, got your ticket. I'm working on this. If you don't hear from me, you should hear from me in the next 30 minutes. If not, I'll call back. Like that, again, verbal, that's bluff and witness. But setting those expectations, and that goes into project management, which I've got another certification in, but that communication, establishing and managing expectations ongoing is one of the core components of customer satisfaction, which, by the way, is why I and no one else has 250 5-star reviews that are all testimonial style.
Dang.
So I'm proud of that.
250.
Yeah. On Google.
5-star reviews.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's, I'm really proud of it. And it's pretty incredible to be able to do that. So.
Yeah. And I wish I could just like clone you and then hire you to do all of these things in our company.
Well, I'm happy to. I'm looking forward to having chances to speak at other events, we run a business mastermind or something like that, because I can speak into a lot of individual issues that I've tackled and conquered, and I'm still learning a ton myself as a business person.
Yeah. Let's speak to that a little bit more. What did you do before starting your own business? So Creative Transaction Consulting was your first company?
InfoSec Consulting was my first company, and I did cybersecurity assessments for small businesses.
Okay.
I'd run scans, give briefings to business owners. I didn't like the small business sales, though, because when I understood that it's like they can either take their family on a vacation or follow my cybersecurity recommendations. Which one do you want to do?
Right. Yeah, when they're burnt out from running a small business, they're probably going to take their family on vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, what made you get into that space? What made you leave the world of working for somebody else and decide to work for yourself?
I was working full-time for a company that did government contracts, and their contracts were drying up gradually, but we saw the end. And so I had just read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, had just become an accidental landlord. So now I've got a rental property. Then I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Thank God I have a rental property. I'm starting to actually build wealth.
Right.
Start saving to buy a flip house. And I want more investment properties so that when this job dries up, I've started building things that are paying for themselves. And that was when I started joining wholesale teams to be a creative closer, creative underwriter.
Okay.
So I'd be a lead manager on cash deals that failed. The seller wouldn't accept a cash offer.
Right.
But there was some reason to believe we could pursue a creative deal. I was that guy. I learned a lot by there's a lot of lonely people that just want to talk for a long time too. You find that out when you wholesale. But that was where I got my experience wholesaling, and then I pushed into somebody needs to be a lighthouse out here to guide these things, because this is crazy. People bouncing around in the dark, hurting each other.
Crazy.
And so then Creative TC was born of that, and I had a date. Old Zooms I was running and YouTube channel, I had a date on my wall behind me, a drop dead date that I had to be. I'm going to have no full-time job. This one has to carry me. So that was my transition. It's not the traditional, I want to quit my W-2, so I'm going to wholesale really hard until I get enough cash flow. It was sink or swim, here it comes. Then you got 3 months.
3 months you get yourself to completely get out of the job and be self-employed and able to make enough to sustain your life.
Yeah, so it wasn't so much that
your wife and kids.
It wasn't so much that I just wanted to quit working for somebody else, but I feel at this point I'm relatively unemployable.
I believe it.
Just because of my strong opinions and all that.
Okay, makes sense. What do you think are some of your personality traits that make you successful in this business?
My employees bought me a sweatshirt that says nitpicky.
Nitpicky. Oh,
That's one of the things. The contracts, the paperwork, that attention to detail. That's what covers everyone's butt.
yeah. And that's a good thing to be, right?
Yeah, in the best sense of the word, that I'm nitpicky.
Yeah.
But, if you're a friend or family member, I'm also still nitpicky, and sometimes it grinds on people. So
Then they're like, can you stop? This is not a contract. This is not a transaction you need to be nitpicking.
yeah,
That's good though. What would you say is the biggest hurdle or challenge that you've overcome thus far?
stepping away from being the guy who knows the most and tells everyone what to do. This is an active transition for me. Because there's two different flavors of leadership that I'm going to talk about. One is you're the person that knows the most, and you're like, come on, follow me. I'll show you what to do. I'll tell you what to do. You just got to do it. The dictation type.
Which is exhausting.
Yes, and it's not scalable. The other one is coaching. And for a person who knows the most, it's pretty difficult because I'm like, that's not the best way to do that, but I need to let you do it, right? I need to coach people and ask them questions and let them sit in the silence. And I discovered this when I had recorded my quarterly staff reviews, and I uploaded the videos, had them transcribed, and then I had GPT act like a business coach.
Okay. A business coach for you to tell you what you were.
I said, grade me. Tell me what's good. Tell me what's bad. I'll tell you this. It said Caleb frequently monologues and uses employee review time to bounce so that the employee's a sounding board. It's like 70-30 talk time. And that's absolutely inverted. And I'm like, God.
Oh.
But it's nice to have the tools because I knew I needed to do something. I knew something was wrong. I knew I'm doing something wrong, but I don't feel it in the moment. And so those reviews were just like, you're right. Okay, I got to turn into a coach rather than a teacher. I love teaching, but that also helped me figure the difference. Like I need an outlet for teaching because I love sharing knowledge and training, but that's not the way to run my business all day, every day.
Right.
I can have a weekly teaching session. Hey, we learned all this stuff. Here, let me lay it out for you.
And to some degree, shouldn't they be teaching us? Like our employees should be teaching us on what they're doing, what's working, what's not working, right? And we have to be able to take a little bit of a seat and just listen and be like, oh, okay, I'm understanding a little bit more of that operation from an outside perspective instead of the one who's inside doing it.
Yeah, they should. So my goal has been, well, in transaction consulting, it's not like you're going to be able to hire somebody who's got the past experience you want. It doesn't exist. It's still relatively new in the creative finance consulting.
Especially creative, yeah.
So I was big on core values, and we recruited people mostly in South Africa, actually, that college educated, they value they have shared values, right? So we've got the core values are in line. Once you pick the right person, you can just train them and they go to work. And so it's an engaging work environment. We like doing what we do, but I had to give them all the training. So my foundation was, I know the most, I just train you and you do it. But now I got to graduate into that, okay, you tell me what you're going to do.
You tell me what you're going to do. And how is that going? Like with these people, how is that?
They're doing fine. It feels the worst.
Oh,
I hate it.
the worst.
I hate it.
I love that you share these things though. And I know you and I have had the opportunity to sit down and talk about this a little bit because that's something I've shared with you as well as I'm looking to develop my leadership skills in business and in bringing people on, hiring them, like even understanding better hiring processes. And I just appreciate your willingness to share what you've gone through and what you're learning and how you're implementing it and how it really feels. You know, like it doesn't always feel great to take a little bit more of the backseat or to realize that, oh yeah, just because I can do everything doesn't mean I should be doing everything.
Yeah.
And that's not scalable if we try to continue to do everything. So yeah, thank you for sharing a lot of that.
With the title company right now, that's my key thing. My key 2 hires that I've got to get are marketing lead and head of sales.
Because you've been doing both of those.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to not be the one doing them.
Okay, right.
Caleb should be a bonus to the marketing person. Caleb should be a bonus to the salesperson. Me showing up at events, doing podcasts, that helps both of those teams.
Right.
But I'm not the person calling saying, hey, when you bring your next file? I'll be inconsistent. Aces in their places. My first job was McDonald's. Guess what they taught? Aces in their places.
Aces in their places.
They never put me in the cook line. They never put me in a couple of other job positions that everybody had to rotate through because I was so freaking fast on that computer in the back. I could run 2 screens, taking an order, talking to somebody, tapping in the order, taking the cash from the person, making change with my other hand. I was the fastest window person they had. They're like, you're on window duty. If you don't want to break, we'll feed you all night, whatever you want. It's just, aces in their places. It's like, figure out who's good at what to. So I need somebody who's experienced in marketing. By the way, we're contracted for somebody to start April 1st.
Nice.
She lived in Denver for 10 years. You know where I recruit from? South Africa.
Uh-huh.
She lived in Denver for 10 years as a marketer, moved to South Africa, then applied for this job.
Wow.
My church has been praying with me for stuff like that for,
I don't know the word.
months at this point.
Oh.
I thought hires would be faster because I'm used to hiring entry-level people and training them. But when I'm looking for department heads, I need to budget months and months to find the right person because a bad hire is worse than no hire at all.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That's where I'm at right now.
And so you got someone that's not entry level that you're not going to have to train.
They're going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I told her, if marketing success or initiatives depend at all on me to drive anything or create ideas, now I'll throw ideas at you and you're going to have to say no to a lot of stuff. But if it depends on me, this is not going to work. It needs to depend on you. You got to own it.
And you got to tell me what to do. Yeah.
Send me a script and say, I need a video by Thursday, you know?
Yes.
That's what I
man.
need.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. There's so many days that I wake up as a business owner where I'm like, I wish somebody would just tell me what to do today.
Right. Oh, you know what? ChatGPT though. I mean, we have these tools. I'm finding ways to implement more of the AI to help with some of those things because they're not necessarily. A couple months ago, really, I was thinking I need to hire like 4 people, and now that I've started to actually utilize more of like AI and our virtual assistant, we have a team in Morocco. Now that I've started to and create systems for them because I wasn't doing that either. Like I'm like, here, do this, and figure it out. And then that's taking them more time to figure it out that they could be spending time doing more tasks. Had I taken the time to clarify step by step how to do it. Now that I've done that, I'm like, oh, I really only need to hire like 1.5 person instead of 4.
And processes, you really have to take 2 steps back to take a leap forward. It hurts and it feels slow and it's painstaking and it may reveal that you've got the wrong people on the team. It's just like, now I've got this cascading set of stuff and I only wanted to do this one thing, but I'm 14 tasks later by the time I get to do the one thing done.
Yeah, that's real. How does this space that you're in affect your life, your everyday life? Your husband, you're a father. What does that look like for you in running multiple companies and the amount of time and dedication that it really takes for you?
When I jumped in the deep end with the first company, I was working anywhere from 12 to 18 hours a day for, I think, over 12 months.
Wow.
So I worked from home, but I was practically not there.
Right.
And one of the wake-up moments for me was when I went to a 4-day conference, a mastermind. My wife called me on the second day and said, Ezra, my oldest son, Ezra just asked where you were. It was the second day and he hadn't noticed I was gone until then. And I was like, that's convicting. So I got really good at turning weekends off. Work is off on weekends. So as an entrepreneur, it's like I have to set those boundaries. The 5:00 p.m. boundary is not a hard boundary. It's a soft boundary for me. And if I got to work, I got to work. But we've got a local church. We're plugged in. We have friends. I live next door to family, my wife's family. So we have plenty of family time. But I don't do anything else. Work and family, and that's it.
And how do you think that affects you? Like, I mean, do you feel fulfilled by your work enough to not feel the need to have many other things outside of your work and your family?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I just got back from a ski trip, but I don't have hobbies other than work. So
Because you enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
You have a passion for it. It shows.
I used to play paintball a lot. We had a paintball course in my parents' woods, but my oldest is turning 13 this year, and we're putting a little paintball course in our backyard.
Nice.
I have a shooting range in my backyard. So I don't have to leave home to do most of the things I like. It's basically, I've got my family there. We've got activities and entertainment galore, a little bit of space to play, beautiful sunsets. I don't need to go anywhere.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And I love that you've built your life in a way where you are fulfilled, in the work that you get to do every single day, even though it's long hours, even though it's all the time, except for weekends.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'd like to travel more with the family, so we have an RV, and when I have the excuse, as far as tax write-offs go, the mileage is the mileage. It doesn't matter what vehicle you drive or who's a passenger. I've got to get from point A to point B, so if my family's with me, then it works out for a family vacation. We add a couple of days.
Yeah.
We took a 17-day trip from Kansas City up through South Dakota, saw the Mount Rushmore, hit Yosemite for 3 days, stayed with family for 3 days, hit a business conference for 3 days, hit the Grand Canyon on the way home. Dude, 17-day trip.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the flexibility and freedom that you get to have running your own company, it's like comes with that.
Yeah. Take a few calls, but for the most part, I was actually disengaged, kind of as a test to see how the team does. It was good. Other than the crying in the morning, like, eat your breakfast so we can go hiking. Come on.
It's just part of it.
That's part of it.
It's part of the fun. I love it. What do you see being some goals for the companies? Some short-term goals, let's say. Where do you see Creative TC and Creative Title going in the next 3 to 5 years? What does that look like?
3 years is pretty long with AI around. That's a really long time.
That's a long-term goal?
I have never been able to put together a meaningful 5-year vision. 3 years I could probably do. I have done. 1 year I can do. And for me, it's a pivot with Creative TC. We've got what we're doing. That's maintain the momentum there, but there are ancillary services that can offer to my title company and other title companies. As I'm in this world, I'm discovering opportunities to do things. There's the new FinCEN filing, so they can do that on behalf of title companies and charge for it. They can do title examination and searching and other things like that. That's just, hey, let me go plug some skills into you guys so that we can continue to grow the revenue streams, diversify, add more team members with expertise in these areas. So that's Creative TC. Maintain steady and maybe add a couple of things as we go. Also get more efficient with AI-assisted processes.
Yeah.
Specifically, because we're consulting and creative finance has cascading dependencies. If you're in this state, now this matters. If you've got this type of loan, now this matters. It's just, that's been very hard to automate. I can't automate it. I can't.
Right.
But if I have a process that has a logic step, I can give the process to AI and have it run logic on choose the best next step based on the previous information. I used
That's
to own
powerful.
them. Yeah. And I couldn't automate that stuff. I always had to have people. Not that I'm trying to get rid of people, but I can do more faster with a human-in-the-loop AI-powered plan.
Right.
So that's what I'm playing with right now. When you got here right before, I had been working with Claude Code, and I was waiting for it to finish building a little process for me.
Nice. You can show me when we get done.
Yeah.
With Claude instead of ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Okay.
Long story. I'm sure it's going to be one of those races where it's like, use this one. No, use it. So whatever. I'm on Claude right now. And with Creative Title, we're still relatively new.
Right.
Because I had established reputation and brand identity and customers, opening in Colorado made sense for me. And so we're pretty close to break even just because we exist. 5 to 10 deals a month or 5 to 15 deals a month just by opening our doors.
Yeah.
Marketing and sales is supposed to change that. So
Right.
those are my key hires. I thought I'd have them by now. I don't. Still working on it. But driving forward, my go-to-market strategy there is wholesalers. I think they're underserved is not the right word. It's true, but they're misunderstood. They're marginalized, not cared about, not cared for.
I would also say uneducated. A lot of wholesalers aren't educated on a lot of these processes that we need to be.
And that's why the title companies are like, I'm tired of you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I understand wholesalers. I've been one. I've sat in almost every seat. I've been a house buyer, seller, refinancer, I've been a private lender. I've borrowed private money. I've been a lead manager. I've cold called. Hate that. I've been an underwriter. I've been a closer. I've been a TC. Now I've been a title company. So who do you know that's sat in that many
You
chairs?
can see, from every seat.
So I bring all of that perspective in, and I'm like, I'm going to run a title company. I'm first capturing wholesalers, which will give me an opportunity to impress investor buyers. I'll remarket to them, and then that will give me the opportunity to impress some agents. So I'm not going after agents right now. I won't turn them away, but after I get a chance to impress group number 2 and remarket to them, and then group number 3. So it's like a 24-month go-to-market plan staged.
Love it. And being a part of Real Estate Deal Makers, we look to plug you guys into all the things we're doing and get you in front of our investors, our wholesalers, our classes.
Yep.
Bring you in to do a class.
We need to do some underwriting series.
Yes. We have our portal now. If we get some time before I have to leave this afternoon, I will show you our portal.
Okay.
And you and I can put a game plan together to start creating some videos within there.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. What else? Is there anything else that you wanted to share with us during this podcast that you want our viewers to learn about you, about your story? Words of encouragement, what not to do in this space. I mean, I'm sure that could be a whole hour long.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I think of myself kind of as an anti-guru. I have a newsletter that I put out every month, and it puts out my real financials. I've got 4 rental properties. One I got a sub to in Pueblo, but that loses $37 a month. Why would you buy a deal that loses $37 a month? Well, because I got it at 3.65% interest rate, and it cost me zero money to walk into it.
And it's a giant bank account.
Yeah, and it's paying down. And so as the debt pays down, the equity goes up, and it's basically you treat houses like a illiquid savings account.
Right.
So I've got assets, I'm operating, I've done all the things, and I'm starting businesses, and I'm sharing that info with real financials every month and my lessons learned. So I would encourage people, that's the one thing I'd like to get out of this also, is that people visit calebchristopher.io, grab that newsletter, and if it helps you, share it.
I love that. I'd like to check that out too. And it also says a lot about you and how humble you are, that you call yourself an anti-guru. There are people who would call you a guru, especially given all these seats that you sat in, how much knowledge you have in all of these spaces of real estate, how many people you've helped. You are one of the most talked about names in the creative space, really, especially when it comes to title and transaction consulting, just helping people in general. You offer so much knowledge for free most of the time.
Yeah.
You give away so much free knowledge on Facebook. I thought that I was on Facebook more than anybody in the world, but I think you have me beat. And you could be seen as a guru in many people's eyes because of your knowledge. And it says a lot about you that you are willing to give people the real you, show them your financials, show them your investments, and show them like, hey, I'm just here doing this and why I'm doing this, because I want to make this a space that's ethical?
Safe, legal, and ethical.
Safe, legal, and ethical. And that's what you lead with truly every single day. And that is more valuable than being a guru, than being somebody that people are like, oh, you're making all this money, and you're this top.
I'm not making all this money. Go check my newsletter and find out. No, I have posted losses, but that's the thing. I think that's the difference between how I call myself an anti-guru is that I don't have toxic positivity. That never acknowledge the negativity attitude kills me. I'm like, you bunch of fakers.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah, so that's what I call it, toxic positivity. I'm not a complainer, right? So,
Right.
But you win and you lose, and both are part of the journey to grow. And most people don't talk about any of their losses because they think it would invalidate them as a leader.
Right.
And I'm like, just show it, man. Be honest.
Yeah. And one more thing just about you, how awesome you are. I love that you meet people where they're at. And it doesn't matter if they're a brand new wholesaler and they don't know squat and they're coming to you with very wrong information. You still offer so much guidance and care and respect, no matter where they're at. And again, that says a lot, because you can help people who are brand new, who are wrong and don't know what they're doing. And you can help people who have multi-million-dollar portfolios who also are coming to you because they need guidance. And it doesn't change how you are and how you respect people and how you treat them. And I'm so happy that you're part of Real Estate Dealmakers, because that's the community that we look to create, is people like you that want to serve and do it for the right reasons.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you. Yeah. Well, Caleb's information will be in the show notes, and we will include calebchristopher.io. Okay.
Everything I have is IO.
Yeah.
CreativeTC.io, CreativeTitle.io, CalebChristopher.io. So there you go.
Awesome. What I loved most about this episode with you today is that you talked about all of the ways that people can misunderstand a space that seems like the trusted space, right? Title specifically seems like the space where we're trusting our transaction to get completed and to get completed correctly in a way that protects us. And you spoke about how, unfortunately, that's not always the case. And there's a lot of title companies that don't come from that space where that's their focus. They're more focused on getting a transaction done and just being a neutral third party. So I really love that you spoke about that specifically, because that's what sets you apart.
Can I talk about my core values?
Yes.
I could preach a sermon on this. And part of it, one of them is care. So at the first company, we had advocate for the client. I can't do that at the title company. I can't have advocacy.
Oh, right.
That's taking sides.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, what is the thing that I need to go with now? Core values take me like 2 to 3 weeks to do this. And I agonize over it for hours. So it spells SCORE for the title company, speed. And I do it in this format. I feel nerdy saying the whole thing, but I have to explain it. So we have the value, then we have a context statement and a command.
Okay.
Okay, so speed, time kills all deals, act with urgency. Care, deals involve real people,
Yeah.
act accordingly. I think that's what's missing in most of the title companies. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you're treating people like a checklist, but there's a person there, and there's a person who's paying for moving boxes, and somebody who's not going to fulfill their promise. And where's the balance between neutrality and handling people?
Caring. Yeah.
So what are the others? Objectivity, pressure.
Wait. What's the action for C?
Care, deals involve real people, act accordingly.
Oh, okay. Act accordingly.
Objectivity, pressure will distort your judgment. Use facts to make decisions.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And those three balance each other out. If you're too speedy, you won't be caring.
Right.
And you won't be objective. If you're too caring, you're not going to be fast enough, and you may not be objective. If you're too objective, you may be slow, and you may be a jerk.
Yeah. Wow.
So there's a balance.
I need that like on my mirror at home every day. Okay.
R is resourcefulness. Obstacles are a given. Find a way to get it done.
Yes.
And then E, excellence. Average is not good enough. Set the standard.
Set the standard. Ooh, I love that.
So I coach that stuff all the time, and that's how we hire and fire, is we look at your actions. And the way I work backwards into my core values by, when I work with people, what did I like about this person? What did I not like about this person? I looked at people we fired first. I usually work backwards from things that I know for sure.
Right.
I know I didn't like this person. I know it violated something. What of my principles did it violate for that person? Their action violated some principle that I clearly hold.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have disliked it. So how do I refine all those feelings into a set of values?
And getting clear, like having that clarity of what is it, because it's not always obvious.
Everybody's got feelings. You like or don't like somebody, but why?
Yeah.
What value do you hold that they're violating? We don't dislike people if they align with our core values individually.
Do you turn people away that come to you as potential clients?
Absolutely. Clients, yeah. So employees and clients, but there's been times I've sent money back to somebody and said, don't put my name on that transaction. I don't like what you're doing. I've told you not to do it. You're insisting on doing it a way that is technically legal, but I find unethical. We've already coached on it, and you're not willing to make a change. If you don't tell this person, I'm going to give you a refund, but don't call me again.
Yes. Woof. I love that. That's amazing. And we need more of that in this industry, because most of us aren't licensed, and we have to set our own set of standards and ethics to abide by, and to not make it okay for other people to act in a way that's unethical. It's amazing.
Public shaming needs to come back. We need to
Public
shame
shaming
people.
needs to come back.
People should be shamed for what they do that's detestable.
Hey, I agree. I do agree. We have what we call our blacklist
Yeah.
of investors and wholesalers that I've had experiences with, or I know people who've had experiences with, and it's like, this is who not to do business with. If you decide to do business with them, proceed at your own caution. But no, they will not be invited to anything that we do here. I haven't gone as far as publicly shaming them.
Sure.
But I'm considering it. Yeah, but also it's difficult when you have the platform. You don't necessarily want to do that to.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Very little is as black and white as I would like it to be. So,
But I appreciate your company's core values, and that's for both your companies.
So that was titled. The other one's very similar. It's longer.
Oh, okay.
Very similar.
But it includes advocating for someone.
Yes.
Because that's on the consulting side.
Right. So we have to balance that advocacy with the goal, our identity of making things safe, legal, and ethical. And so sometimes advocating for the client is overridden by the foundation, which is safe, legal, and ethical, and I'm not going to advocate for this. And that's the kind of person that I fire. Is advocate for the client says, if they're going to do something wrong, I'm going to go talk to them and say, this is the wrong way to do it. But safe, legal, and ethical says, if they're not going to make a change, I'm going to go tell the other party. I'm like, you can do it. I'll help you restructure it. I'm here to help.
Right.
You can't do it this way, though.
Right. That's important. And something that I'm leaning into a little bit more, and I'd love to further another conversation with you, is real estate deal makers. We are a consulting company.
Sure.
And so I'm learning a lot more. I've been a wholesaler. I've been an investor. I've ran a trucking company. I've ran a property management company. I didn't realize just how much of even all of those things that I've done really incorporate consulting. And now real estate deal makers is this consulting world where I'm consulting all of these different pieces, businesses, investors, wholesalers. And I'm just learning so much about like what it means to be a consultant and how to be a better one.
It's all about those transferable skills too, especially when you're hiring. Ideally, you can hire somebody who's got a different set of experience than you. I saw something, there was some issue, I'm going to butcher it, but there was some issue, medical issue, and they had a construction person. They talked to somebody who was outside the industry, tried to explain the medical issue to the person, and they brought their building knowledge, materials and structure and framework, physical construction concepts to the surgery that they were talking about. Well, why don't you just do this and this? It's like that outside frame of reference allows somebody to get outside of the world you're trapped inside of, and you can't think outside this box. Bringing in that outside experience and perspective is really valuable.
That's a good point. Yeah. Bringing people who are very different. Yeah. I just noticed your ring. I like it. It's carbon fiber. Random. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to share with us? I'm so glad that you were able to be here and do this podcast with us today.
No, I'm good. This was a pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Check out Caleb's information in the show notes below, and feel free to reach out. Again, if he's a wealth of knowledge, Facebook, website, the company websites, yes.
Actually, Creative TC has free 15-minute consults.
Perfect.
That's part of my commitment to making safe, legal, and ethical creative finance. So if you've got a deal or a question on a deal, is this viable? Is it real? Is this the right way to do it? Grab a free 15-minute chat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be with a salesperson, but they'll help you. They'll genuinely help you, and then they'll try to sell you. It's their job.
If you're watching this and you're a wholesaler or investor in this space and you haven't done a creative transaction, or you have and you're wanting to make sure that you're up to date, I've done several creative transactions and I know that I'm not up to date on what I need to be doing now in the state of Colorado to really protect myself. Highly recommend that you take advantage of that 15-minute call, and I will be doing that too. So yes, I think that's it for us today. And we will see you guys next time.